Hi and welcome back to my channel for this Tuesday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today's topic is going to be a Reddit autism forum post, and it's about eye contact. This topic to me is a topic that gets picked on my channel quite a lot, especially in my comment section and in my private emails that I receive from people asking me why I don't do certain things with regards to eye contact. So I thought this would be quite relevant to use as a discussion point. So this person on Reddit talks about eye contact, and they say their therapist accuses them after talking to them about being shy after they admit to having lack of eye contact, and the person also admits that they don't look people in the eye at work, when in fact they're told off for not doing so when they are at work, because they're told at work they have to look people in the face and in the eye. This person says they feel weird about it, but is told this what they have to do whilst they're at work to make eye contact, as they're considered rude. They're also not sure if they have autism or not, and the person is not sure if their therapist understands them. So the first point I want to address with this is that the fact their therapist has accused them of being shy. Shyness and autism and eye contact are completely different things. Shyness is a way of choosing not to talk, or is due to anxiety, and they're not wanting to talk because they're not sure if they're going to be understood, respected, valued, listened to, given dignity and respect. And the second point is the therapist clearly isn't trained in autism or mental health issues, because if the therapist knew you had suspected autism or a suspected mental health issue, they wouldn't have said that you were shy or accusing you of being shy if they know that people with autism lack eye contact, and that most of us, if not half of us, don't do eye contact in general. And you shouldn't have to feel weird about not doing eye contact at work, because it shouldn't be expected of you in your job to do eye contact. I don't know what kind of work you work in, but if it's people facing, obviously there is a element we have to try and do it and communicate with people, because it's how the Western world sees it as an expectation. We are expected to look people in the eye. We're expected to be functional, polite, civil, and we're expected to look people in the eye as a way to interact and show that we're interested and we're communicating with what they want to say to us and the rules of the workplace and the work day. But again, it shouldn't be a forced issue. It should be something we should be able to choose to do whether we want to or not. And it should be something that we should be able to do on our own limited time, whether we want to talk about it and look people in the eye straight away, or if we choose to look away and then come back, or if we choose to look up, if we choose to look down, if we choose to look at the, like often I look at the mouth or I look at the top of the nose, so that people can see that I'm interacting with them. So you shouldn't be forced to make eye contact, and your workplace needs to make more reasonable adjustments as somebody who may be suspected to be on the autism spectrum or the mental health spectrum. As someone on my own personal view now, someone who is autistic and being diagnosed through the mental health system, I would not give eye contact to people. I know I'm very aware that I'm bad at it. I'm really bad at it, quite honestly. And I know for what, if I was in a workplace right now in a paid employment sense, I would make them aware about my autism and say, look, you know, I may not make physical eye contact with people, but I am listening to them. I may look at them, but I may not give full eye on screen or eye to eye contact, because I can't do it, or it physically and mentally stresses me out to the point where I feel ill and I feel drained, I feel empty, I feel like I've got pain running through my head. It usually hurts me like up here across my head or in my eyes here, and it gives me quite a lot of sensory overload, anxiety, pain, and it causes me sometimes to even cry. So for me, I wouldn't be expected to do it. Also, this comes down to, again, to lack of training. I think a lot of employers and a lot of therapists and mental health organisations do lack the appropriate training about autism and eye contact, because it's something that's not often discussed. It's swept underneath the carpet. Unfortunately, this needs to change, and I am planning on doing more topics around this to educate people who may work in the mental health fields or employment fields, because this is something that needs to be addressed and given a bit more time and respect. And also, this is to do with fear and stereotype and media stereotypes that are thrown out there, that people with autism are good at eye contact and that they don't have problems with it, which is actual fallacy. It's wrong. A lot of us do struggle with eye contact in general. It's something that we're not very comfortable with and we choose not to do on a personal level. Also, it's to do with mental exhaustion and sensory and auditory overload. So again, eye contact can be really draining mentally, physically, emotionally when you are talking to somebody, whether it's your employer, your therapist, your mental health practitioner, your physician, or anyone that you may work with within that spectrum of the realm. places, they should be a bit more understanding. So I think this is where the call to action needs to happen, where we need to be going into places like this as a person with lived experience and say, look, this is what autism does, this is what our mental health does, and give them a training session from a personal lived experience, because again, this seems to be a topic that is brought up again and again and again and again, that I see on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, on autism forums, on in mental health practitioners where I go, or in the community I hear, oh, well, you should be able to give eye contact because people with autism are good at eye contact. No. So I just wanted to talk about this topic. It's something that really aggravates me personally, because I get many complaints talking about, oh, Gemma, why do you always fidget? Or, why don't you keep your eyes on the screen? Like, why can't you look at people all the time? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, do you understand how taxing this is for me? Do you understand how mentally draining this is for me as someone with autism that has to constantly be looking at the screen to look at you? And you're all saying, oh, what's wrong with you? Look at me when I'm talking to you. Listen to me when I'm talking to you. It's like, do you know how patronising that is? Please give us a bit more time and a bit more leniency with regards to eye contact. We're not being awkward. We're not being shifty. We're not lying. We're not being deceptive. We're not trying to get out of things. We're not trying to scam you. We just can't do eye contact. It's part of the autism spectrum, and I will actually link some articles down below in the video description so you can read more about it. But I hope you've enjoyed this take on my own personal perspective and the Reddit post. I will link the Reddit post down below in the video description as well, so you can see the original post. And take care, guys. Bye.